Right, in celebration of the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, one non-governmental and humanitarian service says violence against women must come to an end. Speaking at the event, President of the Widows and Orphan Support Society of Africa, Ambassador Dr. Tayo Thomas, says everyone in the society has an important role to play in ending violence against women and girls. He is therefore calling for global action to increase the awareness and create opportunities for discussion on challenges and solutions.
It's a necessity because the awareness is on now that no more violence against women. Previously, women are treated like trash, but now we see a reason that women should be part of the system. Women should be recognized. They should be given all the recognition that men deserve to. No, women should be treated with unique love. So it's a day to broadcast love for women. It's a day to say no to violence against women.
The UN Women Country Representative to Nigeria and ECOWAS, Ms. Comfort Lamte, in a goodwill message, has commended Un-Wossa for taking the initiative to amplify the elimination of violence against women and girls.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to stand on the already established and duly observed protocols. I'm deeply honored to be joining you virtually for this UN International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women 2021, themed Say No to Gender-Based Violence. I want to thank Dr. Tayo Thomas, Widows and Orphan Support Society of Africa's CEO and President, for graciously inviting me to share some words on behalf of UN Women. As the UN entity dedicated to the empowerment of women and girls, enhancing women's roles and breaking the gaps of gender inequality, engaging and strengthening platforms for advocacy for elimination of violence against women forms a key pillar of our efforts towards achieving a gender equal and peaceful world. Recognizing the vulnerability of widows, their children, and orphans, we are pleased that Un-Wossa is taking the initiative to engage stakeholders to amplify the elimination of violence against women and girls. Generally, 3 in 10 Nigerian women have experienced physical violence by age 15 through either forced or early marriages or physical, mental, or sexual assault on a woman. It is important to note that many cases of gender-based violence in Nigeria are not documented, are not reported either, as victims and survivors prefer not to speak out about their experiences due to fear of being stigmatized and blamed by society. Available data on gender-based violence occurrence rates, therefore, is at best tentative. Over the years, UN Women Nigeria has made significant investments in addressing gender-based violence, including supporting the establishment of laws and policies such as the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, and establishing shelters for victims and survivors of GBV, amongst other efforts. It is estimated that nearly 3 in 10 Nigerian women have experienced physical violence by age 15 through either forced and early marriages or physical, mental, or sexual assault. It is important to note that many cases of gender-based violence in Nigeria are neither documented nor reported, as victims and survivors prefer not to speak out about their experiences due to the fear of being stigmatized and blamed by society. Available data on gender-based violence is therefore at best tentative. Ending violence against women requires that attention is given to addressing vulnerabilities faced by different population groups. This includes widows and orphans. From harmful traditional practices targeted at widows to abuse and exploitation that many orphans, particularly young children, are exposed to, we must collectively work to protect, empower, and engage widows and orphans as key partners in all efforts to end gender-based violence. Over the years, UN Women in Nigeria has made significant investments in addressing gender-based violence including through supporting the passage of laws and policies such as the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, and more recently under the EU-UN Spotlight Initiative, supporting the establishment of one-stop centers for victims and survivors of gender-based violence, amongst other efforts. It is my earnest desire and expectation that this event will broaden and strengthen participants' advocacy skills to support efforts towards the elimination of violence against women and girls. Violence against women is a global crisis that requires all of our action. Let us come together to end gender-based violence, not only during the 16 days of activism, but every day. Thank you for your kind attention and for all your efforts.
At the event, Dr. Tayo Thomas further admonished corporate individuals and stakeholders to continue to give their support towards the transformation of the lives of less privileged women and the girl child in Africa.
Our mission ultimatum is to ensure 100% servicing and advocacy support for programs for the benefit of widows, the vulnerable women, orphans, girl child education. We strongly believe that with your warm support and participation as stakeholder, millions of lives will be transformed across the African continent.
A minute's silence was observed for women who have died as a result of domestic violence.
May that gentle soul rest in peace.
The Assistant Director of Social Welfare at the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Un-Wossa Usani, emphasized that laws that advance women's rights and empower them to support themselves and their family should be established.
Social benefit and opportunity must be struck down to advance women's rights in Nigeria. Empower women to support themselves and their families and live with dignity by ensuring access to education and training opportunities.
Special rendition by President of Ladies of Honor International Movement, Vessel Precious Okpala. Interactive session anchored by the founder of Today's Women, Tomorrow's Pride initiative, Ambassador Princess Onota Karuma Idowu Thomas.
And we are made like that. And that's why we were still tolerating. But I tell you today, there's going to be a stop to it in the name of Jesus. Joma, I also want to appeal, if you understand Yoruba, further questions or other things will be spoken in Yoruba, because my people that are here, most of them will want to hear you speak in Yoruba. So, ma, I'm going to say that to you, but I want to say quickly that my mommy, ma, I can be standing. Yes, ma. As the chairman board of trustee of ECOWAS, there's a question I like to ask, because she's supposed to be up here, but very good, you know. Mama is very strong, and I want her to tell us, how we got to this level of life. Has she ever had or seen or been in a position where people have come to cry to her about the purpose why this violence is roaming around them? Because the women must have cried to you severally, ma'am. And I know that you must have taken a lot of part in making sure that those women that are crying, you have gotten relief for them.
For me, when I got married decades ago, my mother told me when I was changing to go off on honeymoon. She said to me, before you say an angry word, count 10. You should try. You should not be like a mouse in the house, but you should not be afraid to speak up, and you're not always. Some sometimes you just keep quiet and people your mouth, but you're not. You just want peace to win.
Cultural display by Atelogu dancers. The National President, West Africa Women Association, Chief Dr. Mrs. Beatrice O. Ubeko, advised women to be humble and submissive.
Ẹni bá sọ̀rọ̀ tó bá rẹ́rìn ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run máa ń ké sí. Ìbínú máa ń ba gbogbo ẹ̀ jẹ́. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí ìbínú ba gbogbo ẹ̀ jẹ́ fún wa. Àwa obìnrin alágbára lẹ́nu ọ̀rọ̀. Ọ̀tá bá ti fọ́kàn ẹnu ọ̀rọ̀ wa ó kéré díẹ̀. Ká fi lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Ká bá lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn obìnrin rẹ̀ kó yí kó wà lábàlábà. Ọlọ́run ló yẹ kó wà lábàlábà.
Nothing impossible with our God. You do not lie, you do not fail. What is that for you to do? It doesn't exist, so it can never, never exist, so. You do not lie, you do not fail. What is that for you to do? It doesn't exist, so. It can never, never exist, oh. According to your knowledge and your will for me, what you say you have done, I just use no lie, oh. Because you are the master, changes your mind, oh. God, I know you will trust in you, nothing else is a chariot. By the arm of flesh, no man can prevail.
Awards were given to well-meaning individuals for their outstanding contribution and selfless service to humanity and the government.
On behalf of United Nations Rescue Services and Widows and Orphan Support Society of Africa, we confirm unto you the United Nations Material Award unto you, Chief Mrs. Betsy Ubeko, for your selfless service to humanity and God Almighty. On 25 November 2021, the United Nations International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women. Congratulations, ma'am.
Widows Welfare.